Well, hello and a very good afternoon to you, our dear viewers, from wherever you're tuning in from, and welcome to the Form Face show right here on Capuchin TV with me, your one and only host, Susan Bulemi. So on today's show, we are going to have a very important and impactful discussion, and that is on digital discipleship. We are going to basically discuss on social media and how evangelization has impacted the society, especially the young people and the church. Of course, I'm not alone. With me here in our studio are two guests who are going to help us shed more light on today's discussion. However, before I give them the opportunity to introduce themselves, I'd like to remind you, our dear viewer, that if you'd like to reach to us, you can contact us through our number 0717-424-866, or rather you can use our social media platforms and your message will be delivered. Without further ado, I'd love to take this opportunity to give our guests the opportunity to introduce themselves, maybe tell us your names, where you come from, the parishes you come from, and what you do. Welcome.
Thank you. Hi everyone, my name is Shitsugane Bernstein, and I'm thrilled to be here. I am a student of journalist, and I fellowship at St. Francis of Assisi, Ruiru.
Hi everyone, my name is Director Liki. I'm an economist by profession. I come from Ruiru St. Francis, and I'm happy to be here on this show.
Welcome once again. So I'd like to thank you for being part of the panel today. And maybe if I could begin with our most basic question, the main question that a lot of people are asking themselves, especially our viewers: what is digital discipleship? Beginning with you.
Okay, thank you for that opportunity. So digital discipleship, to start with, it's the tools, the digital tools that we use to spread the gospel. And it's not only the gospel, but we do nurture the faith of the Christians who maybe in one point or the other are unable to physically appear in churches or in the places of worship. So it's through the digitalization of everything and the enhancement in technology, we've been able to bring that form of worship to your doorstep. Yes.
Okay, nice. Okay, now that you've mentioned technology and social media, maybe why do you think social media is such an effective tool in evangelizing the word of the Lord? Maybe Liki, if you could take us through that.
I bet social media has brought the world to be a global village. So I believe that using social media to evangelize, it is a simple way of making a global village in terms of religion. So when we, if we go with an example, during the COVID-19, most churches went through live streaming platforms so that they can evangelize. So in that case, we can see that social media is helping even in terms of when we have calamities or such kind of pandemics, so that we can bring our people closer to God.
Okay, and you've mentioned live streaming and during the pandemic and all that. Maybe if you'd elaborate more the different apps and platforms that are used in this evangelizing and how they do it apart from live streaming, of course.
We have seen some churches using YouTube, where the minister who is there preaching are using YouTube to preach to reach the congregation. We also have TikTok. There are some pastors who use TikTok to reach to their target audience. We also have YouTube, not YouTube, but Facebook and Twitter. Like every person knows where to get the audience from, and they specialize on those apps.
Okay. And that takes me to our next question. The social media, yes, is effective, right? But do you think sometimes the word of the Lord is at the risk of being diluted when being spread on social media? Especially, maybe you would find someone is trying to send a message, yes, but maybe they do not send it in the right way, just because they want maybe the views and all that. Do you think there's a risk of the word of the Lord being diluted, and maybe how can we avoid that, Bernstein?
Okay, we can't really say that it can't be diluted, because we've seen, we are on these social medias and we've seen the word of God being used by maybe comedians or comic people to bring out a message that maybe some of us who do not understand sarcasm and critics will take it the negative way. So if at all there could be an enhancement or an awareness on how proper to use social media, I think it's an effective way to propel or champion the effective way of transmitting this or evangelizing through social media. For instance, you'll find of late I'm not trying to advertise it anyway, but TikTok is the most social media app that is used. But the Christian content in that app is very, like, if in terms of percentage, you'll say like 10% is the 10% of it is the one that is used for the evangelization, but the greater percentage, which is 90 plus, is used for other issues. And that's where you'll tell someone, like for instance, I could tell my mother, maybe I take the TikTok app in her phone and tell her, maybe you'll watch, I'm on Capuchin TV live. She'll tell me TikTok is not for such things, because she knows what content appears on TikTok. And this applies across all these other platforms, be it Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and whatever. Because not everyone who is on that app or whoever tries to use it for the sake of evangelization has the knowledge or the know-how of how to use it. So, because you'll find people criticizing the church, it's the platform given to them to criticize the church instead of spreading the right information to the participants or the viewers.
Okay, and maybe just on that same point, we are aware that, let me use the example of TikTok. That app is mainly used for entertainment purposes, right? So maybe how do you think the youth and the church generally can help balance in a way that they try to, yes, spread the gospel, but it also, in a way, it is creative and it attracts the audience, especially the young people, because we know that you can't overwhelm the youth with, yeah. So maybe how can they balance? Maybe try to make it creative in a way, but still spread the word of the Lord.
Now, that's where creativity comes in, and a lot of people have prowess in how to bring out a certain aspect, though religious, but it comes out as a comic issue. Yeah. So if at all these few individuals could be empowered, of course there are many, but there are few who have mastered the art of doing it. But the rest who are just using it for the sake of getting in, maybe followers or influence. But once you realize that I'm trying to teach people out there, you won't go for the followers or whatever, because that entertaining person on TikTok has already a majority of the followers. But when it comes to this other person who is trying to spread the gospel, maybe in a, let me say, in a more formal way, where there's no like creativity in terms of entertainment in it, they are shunned off. So if at all we could empower the few people who are coming in, there could be a balance in how the two things could go hand in hand. Okay. Yes.
To you, Liki, what role has the Catholic Church, let me be specific, what role has it played in evangelizing through social media, or how has it embraced digital evangelization and digital discipleship?
I believe that the Catholic Church is doing out the most. First of all, we can see, like right now here, we are youths talking about evangelization. Yeah. That is one way the Catholic Church is evangelizing through social media, because I'm very sure that we have the TV station has social media platforms, and this show is being streamed live over there. Yeah. So that is one way. Another way is we see in the Catholic Church we have a lot of maybe festivals, drama, music, and everything. So those are channels that youths get to express themselves, and when they post those pictures or videos after their festivals, they attract more youths to the church. So that is another way which will concur with the previous question you had asked, how we can intertwine the two.
Yeah.
So the Catholic Church is doing the most, and we believe that in future, if more youths can be given that chance to showcase their talents on the TV stations we have, they can do better than whatever is being done right now.
Okay. Yeah, our dear viewers, like you've heard from Liki, even here on Capuchin TV, remember you can always find us live streaming on our YouTube channel. So yes, we have also embraced social media and evangelizing through social media. On to our next question. Evangelizing through social media is not simple, yes. So maybe if you could explain to the viewers some of the challenges that especially influencers may be faced in trying to evangelize through social media.
Thank you. So to start with, like practically, the machines used, other than even your phone is expensive in a way.
Yeah.
I cannot dismiss the fact that we all use different phones. So your phone to start with, for those who use phones, it's expensive. So we bring in the aspect of how expensive some of these machines are to acquire. Again, there's knowledge required on how to operate the same machines. So some of these people who do live streaming and such need a background knowledge on how to run the social medias and stuff. Also, there's the aspect of going back to the expenses. For you to establish the entire live streaming and come up with the post-production of whatever you are live streaming, you need quite a lot, to be honest, because you'll need internet, you'll need all that. And you see, in the economy we are living right now, if it were not that we are in this interview, could have gone at least another way that I couldn't want us to go there right now. But we can all agree that economy does not favor most of those people who are trying to evangelize, especially, and they are not funded by anyone. They are trying to get into their pockets to do the same. As well, there's always the bad view. In each and everything that one does, there's that one person who is there just to post the negativity of whatever someone is doing. So however much you're trying to do good, to you it seems good, but there's that other person who is seeing as if whatever you're doing is not good. So there's that criticism that you're getting. And wherever there's criticism, the majority of people will fall on that other side and fail to recognize this other side, as we are told in the Bible that the route to heaven has less followers compared to the route that goes the other side. Yes. So those are just a few amongst the many challenges that people face.
Okay. To you, Liki, now. I'd love to ask, how do you think the youth could stay grounded on their faith while still using social media? Because we know that the digital space can be a bit overwhelming and can have a lot of also negative content. So maybe how do you think the youth could at the same time be grounded in their faith, even with the kind of content they take from social media?
I believe the youths, what they can do is just sticking to their goal. Mm-hmm. If you believe that you are in the social media to maybe follow, maybe evangelizing stuffs, you can just stick to that. And maybe I can sum up by saying that it all requires discipline. So discipline is what makes you keep you going. So if you decided that you're going to the social media maybe to check on this and this and this, don't be tempted to go and look for other kind of stuffs. And again, if you stand with your grounds, I believe you cannot be shaken if you're strongly disciplined. Yeah.
Just to add on that, maybe we as staunch Catholics, there's that background we are brought in. So if you are told this is what you're supposed to do, at no any given point you'll find someone going astray. That's why it's very different. It's very difficult to argue with a staunch Catholic person. As well, we've seen, just to mention an example of a youth group in Italy. I don't know which church is that, I'm not sure, but I know it's a youth group in Italy that has used the digital space to evangelize through their activities. Whenever they are leading mass, whenever they are doing choir practice, they post it on social media. The account is growing, and in the same line, they are trying to like empower and to be impactful in the community to the other Christian community. Yeah.
Oh, and maybe on that point, how do you think social media can be used in maybe in community growth, maybe in how the community can, maybe in, okay, let me use the example of charitable cases. You know, maybe there are some times where you find Christians want to visit maybe a children's home. Does social media really help in making that more prominent?
Yes, social media does make that very prominent. If I'm able to give a case, maybe in our church youth group, you'll find whenever we are doing an activity that requires funding, maybe from the community, we'll have to advertise in the church. Aside from the church, we have our social media handle. So you'll find majority of those who are contributing towards that certain activity come from the social media world or social media community. And as we are trying to grow, or as we are trying to embrace this social media or evangelizing through social media, you will come to realize that in as much as we are trying, the input that we are putting in also comes back to us, and it impacts the community. So that's how the community comes into either benefit. Of course, it's a two-way thing. They are benefiting from it as well. We are impacting, they are being impactful to us as well. Because for one, like for this digital space, so some of us who are here get paid, probably. Yeah. So you find that you're able to cater for your own bills, whatever you are doing at home through the maybe the cash that you are being given here. So at some point it's impactful to the whole community as well.
Okay. And maybe if I could go back to a point that we mentioned earlier, during the COVID-19 pandemic, that is when we noticed that digital discipleship was a bit common in our country, because people had to live stream and people couldn't go to church because of the pandemic, right? So maybe what is your review on the impact that social media has had on the church since that time till now, Liki?
According to statistics, it shows that after the pandemic, most churches, around 70%, moved to having their own social media accounts where they can post whatever they are doing. So you find that at times we have those people that are sick, are at work, who cannot be able to go to church. So the best way the church does to reach them is using the social media platforms, and that has impacted them because they are still connected to the Word of God. Again, we can see that social media has really helped in creating awareness about God. Majority of people never went to church, but at times you find that one person streams a service, hears the Word of God, and start to believe that they can grow in faith. Yeah.
Okay. And in terms of using social media in posting, you know, the Christianic content, maybe how do you think the Christians are led by God to be able to send the right content to the audience out there? Maybe is it through prayer, or how the guidance maybe they get?
To start with, it could be the guidance they get from their churches, because we're living in a world of monkey see, monkey do. So whatever the priest shares is whatever the same Christian will want to share to those other people who did not attend the church. And as well, we are living in an empowered, we are living in an empowered community, for that matter. So you find that I'll have to see whatever this other person posted, the reviews that were there, so that I see what content can I post. I'll be trying to post something that is more quality than the other person posted. Because if I post something and the review is, oh, I went astray, does not happen in our church, this is not according to our Christianity. Now I'll have to evaluate and go back. Now go back to the drawing board, restructure how I do my things, and get back to now posting something that is in line with the guidelines of the church. And we are advantaged, we as Catholics, because our church is structured in a way that we know whatever will happen Sunday, whatever, only that the homily comes out different, but the readings are the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
And while we're doing this, posting the Christianic content and all that, what kind of, or in what way should the content maybe be posted in a way that it attracts a lot of, a lot of people in the online space? Maybe Liki, if you could.
The way we can post that content to attract a lot of people is by, one, making sure that it is quality content. Again, in social media, most people are there for entertainment. We can use it to be like what we call edutainment. So in this case, we try to make it a little bit entertaining, but again, driving the goal, which is evangelizing. So we can just add a little taste to it and making it more lively.
Plus, as I mentioned earlier, there are creative people in this field.
Yeah.
So, and there are certain places where you'll post a content from, and everyone will be interested to know, as in, one will be interested in the details of that content.
Yeah.
For instance, if I went to Egypt, or I went to Vatican and posted something. I'm speaking practically because we had one of the bishops, maybe from Mombasa, who are in Vatican, probably the last week or last week part 1. And his account, he did not post in, I doubt if he has an account, but the blogger in charge of that account had a massive following, and the reviews, the comments that you are reading down there were very impressive. So it's just about being strategic, being creative, and at the end of the day, you will find that whatever you are posting is up to their maybe demand.
Oh, okay. And I'd love to ask also, what kind of projects or campaigns do you think the church or even the Catholic Church could maybe come up with to be able to engage with the youth and bring more youth in the space of, online space, and to help more youth be more active in evangelizing through social media, apart from making entertainment videos? Maybe what projects or campaigns can the Catholic Church come up with, or generally the church?
There are quite a lot of things that can maybe, according to me, for example, using the local church where I come from, if at all youths could be given space to articulate their points well, or whatever they envision to do in the near future, it's a good space for them to bring in other people. Again, if the church itself could empower the youth, let's say there's an event in your church, and most of us are learned, yes, so in line with your education background, you're given something in the church as a youth that you are doing. Under you, there are several people whom you are trying to empower and educate so that they follow up the same trend that you are in, so that at least as a whole community, you are able to come up with something that at least will bring more youths into the church. Because majority of the youth come in the church, but at the end of the day, there's nothing I'm doing in that church other than coming for mass and going home. So what is that will keep me waiting or engaging with the other youths at that particular point, so that I'm able to socialize with them. And the Catholic Church, to be specific, has as well, we have these projects that are the one he was talking about the festives. Those are some of the ventures that the Catholic Church has ventured in. We have sports, we have the talent shows and whatever. So those are some of the activities or projects that the church has swung into to make sure that the youths are just around the church and they are well educated.
Okay. Anything else you would love to add on that?
I'll say that when it comes to those activities again, the church needs to put more effort in investing in these youths. So when we have those activities like, let's say, the games, the church should make sure that they give these people more resources so that they can see that there's a difference between being at the church and being outside there. So when the church has more resources and it is ready to give freely to these people, they'll be attracted to the church, and they will make an effort to be more active in church so that they can be benefiting from those resources. So resources is a major thing that the church can use.
Okay, very nice to hear that. And I'd love to also ask, where do you see the digital evangelization, digital discipleship? Where do you see this in maybe 5 years to come? Maybe what is the future of evangelizing on social media? Do you see it in a positive way? Do you see it making more impact to the society?
Okay, so to start with, digital evangelization is something that is here to stay and grow, because it's in line with the technology.
Yeah.
The more technology is advancing, the more the digital evangelization is growing, because more people are looking into that path. And some days back, I was here for a debate on how whether technology should be used in churches. We did argue with my opponent, whoever we were arguing with, and I'd wish he's watching now so that at least he sees that I did not only win, but something that people learned from it and are embracing it. So my own view of whether it's there to stay or not, this is something that is there for as long as technology is going to be enhanced. Yes.
What about you, Liki? Where do you see?
I believe in 5 years to come, or a long-term goal about this digital evangelization is that it will have grown too much, because currently we are seeing most of the youths are saying that they left the church but not God. So where they go to seek God is online.
Yeah.
So most of the youth will actually stop going to the traditional churches and delve much into these social media churches. Yeah. So it will grow and grow.
Oh, okay. So maybe I'd love you to tell any young person out there, because I believe there are a lot, and he or she wants to venture into the social media space and start evangelizing and spreading the word of God, but maybe they do not know where to begin. What advice would you give them?
Okay, personally, the advice that I'll give any young person out there watching this show is that, to start with, you need to be empowered and have the know-how of how to run this social media. And you do not need a whole computer or a whole laptop for you to have a social media account or to evangelize through social media. You only need your phone. At times we even use whatever another person's phone so that you post it on your own account. So that's not a limitation. So with whatever you have at your disposal, that's what you start with. But again, be cautious of the harmful content that is on social media, and be disciplined to the point that you only align yourself with the goals that you set as you venture into the digital evangelization.
How about you, Liki? What advice would you give to
the young people? If you want to start something to do with social media, first of all, it is to grow that passion in you. Grow it and make sure that you have a long-term goal. If you want to see yourself maybe in 3-5 years having maybe 100,000 followers, you start setting small goals and go step by step until you reach the target. Again, as my friend has said here, be disciplined, align your content to your long-term goal. Don't go astray. Don't be tempted to post something just because it is trending. And again, avoid using a language that may criticize people or maybe make people maybe uncomfortable from watching your content.
And maybe just one more question from whatever you've said about criticizing people. What message do you have to such people who are on the online space, because you find a lot of people who engage in spreading the word of God online, they face a lot of, you know, negative criticism, people telling them, kama unataka kuhubiri si uende kanisa, you know, and such comments. Maybe what would you tell such people on the online space who do that?
To those people who just go online maybe for the comment section, just to make those other people maybe to feel inferior. Or
they are called keyboard warriors.
Yeah, those keyboard warriors. It is not the right thing to do. Convert your energy to evangelizing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they just convert the energy.
I've just remembered someone referring to the other as Deputy Jesus, just because they posted something that is more evangelizing than the content the other person was expecting.
Yeah.
So to those people with the negative critics, stick to what you want online. There's quite a lot.
Yeah.
The space is large.
Yeah.
Whatever you go for is what you get.
Yeah.
So for this other person who is trying to educate others, kindly spare them.
Yeah.
Just go for those your core keyboard warriors, so that you have a space of engaging with them further.
Yeah.
And on a general, it's not a good thing to do. So just respect each other's content. You might post yours that favors this other person good. I might post mine that I have followers who are interested in it. That's fine.
Yeah, like you've said, these people who post negative comments, the online space is quite big. I'm pretty sure they'll find a place where they are comfortable with and the kind of content that is posted there, and it's also not Christianic. Yeah. So maybe as we conclude, what parting shots do you have, and what do you have to finalize on our topic of today?
Okay, so my parting shot would be, the digital evangelization has not come to replace the traditional way of worshiping. By this I mean, like my friend said, we do not leave the church but not God. In the spaces that we need to go, in case you are advantaged to be in that church, go there. Leave the digital space at that particular time, not always. Like on Sundays, I'm able to go to church, let me go to church. But in that case that I'm unable due to unavoidable circumstances, then it's advisable I catch up maybe the mass through the social media. But it does not mean the digital evangelization has come to replace the traditional way of worship. So as we try also to embrace the digital and evangelization, let us keep in mind that it has not come to maybe replace it and do away with it. We're only working in line with it so that at least we have a wide variety of tools to use to spread the gospel.
How about you, Liki? What is your parting shot?
I'll say I'll use it as an advice to the viewers. Most youths are prone to radicalization, where we find that they are brought astray by those people who are online preaching. So they preach negatively, or maybe to a direction that is not which is the right path. So as much as you're seeking content from those online platforms, just go to specific platforms where you know that this person is a legit person, to avoid those instances of radicalization.
Okay, so like you've heard, our dear viewers, that is what our guests had to say. They say we should stick to the right path in whenever we are looking for social media content that is based on our faith, and we should also be positive, have positive comments for our fellow young people who are trying to evangelize through social media. And maybe if I could read a few comments from people who have been following the show since the beginning. We have Paul Mwangi following closely on the debate. Kudos to our very able members of the youth of St. Francis. Hongera sana Director Liki and Bernstein. And we also have Mili who says she's following. And to you, our dear viewers, we are grateful for being with us since the beginning of the show till now. It has been quite an impactful conversation. We have gotten to learn a lot, and at least our guests have shed light on our conversation of today. And any young person who is out there and you want to begin your journey in evangelizing through social media, do not be worried, do not be scared. Like Bernstein said, begin with what you have. Even if it's your phone, even if it's your friend's phone, just begin and the rest will follow. So that was all we had for today here on Family Faith Show, right here on Capuchin TV. And see you next time, same place. I am your host, Susan Bulemi. Well, hello to you, our dear viewers of Capuchin TV, and welcome to the Family Faith Show, whereby we get to interact with the youth in various ways.
Let's stop judging people according to their tribes.
We present to you fresh perspectives, exciting conversations, engaging debates, Bible trivia discussions, showcasing of talents such as singing, dancing, art, and so much more from guests who keep it real and authentic.
Sasa wewe, nitajuaje hautanihat? It's true that human nature covers us.
So buckle up, because this season is about to be epic with me, your one and only host, Susan Bulemi. Keep it locked right here on the Family Faith Show every Wednesday from 2 to 3 p.m. only on Capuchin TV.